Hey y'all, welcome back. If it's your first time here, welcome back as well. Pinhole photography has been a favorite of mine for some time now. You know, the simplicity of it combined with the heavy contrast type images you can get out of it just really works for me. Combine that with modern conveniences such as bubble levels and sight and the ability to develop the picture inside the camera, and you have yourself the star of today's video, the Pinsta pinhole camera. Based out of England, Pinsta is making these pretty sophisticated pinhole cameras that really changed my ideas of photography. It really is what got me into shooting analog versus digital, and while I don't shoot with it as much as I used to, a month or so ago I decided to change that, which brings us to today's video. It was a beautiful day out, and I wanted to enjoy the nice weather, so I grabbed my bag and headed towards the Thomas Center here in Gainesville. What's up, everybody? So today I am out shooting a pinhole photo. That is the goal. I haven't done that in a really long time. I've been feeling particularly inspired lately. I got pretty burnt out shooting regular film photography. I had maybe 50 rolls sitting in my fridge waiting to be developed, and I was like, you know what? Let me just take a little break. Let's go do something a little different. And honestly, pinhole stuff is what got me into film photography all those years ago. So I figured I'd bring you guys along. I haven't done one of these focused on pinhole photography, so I'm here at the Thomas Center in Gainesville, Florida, and it is a really, really beautiful old, I think it was a mansion, a hotel, and now it's a government building. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus. There's even a photo shoot happening just over there. But figured I'd bring you guys along. I'm gonna get everything set up here. You need quite a few things to do pinhole photography. First off, I have my little extendable tripod. I have my dark bag for putting the paper into the camera. Got distilled water in here. Bag full of chemicals, including developer and fixer, drying frames, paper itself, direct positive paper, and finally, of course, the actual camera. This is a Pinsta camera. For those of you who haven't heard of it, it is an English-made product that I've been shooting for a couple years now. It's got this magnetically sealed back and a system to where you can completely seal it up and pump your chemicals in here, and it completely does all the development inside. So you take your photo, you do all the development, and then you open it up, and there's your fully developed one-of-one photo on direct positive paper. So there's no negative, there's no anything like that. Super cool and really fun process. We're gonna get everything set up, and I'm gonna take a photo basically right over here as soon as that family moves. All right, so first step is I have to load the camera with this paper. You cannot open this in direct sunlight or really any light. And oh, there's a cat. There's a cat about to walk by. There he goes. Anyways, you can't open this in direct sunlight, so I have my dark bag with me. What this is essentially a light tight. Once you get this zipper closed, you stick your arms in these holes, and you can do anything you need to in the dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna load up this paper into the camera, and I already took off my watch because truly no light can be in there. So we're gonna do that really quick. Okay, good. Can look a little weird doing this in public, but I have to open the film box, which has a light tight bag inside, and grab one piece out. You can only really tell which side is the photo emulsion from touch, essentially. Got the piece of paper out, got the box sealed back up, open up the camera. It's always hard to do this in the dark. Okay, got the paper in the bottom, get the camera resealed, and there we go. Camera's closed. On to the next step. Come here. Hi. 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 Wow. What a magical moment. It's just someone's cat. We're gonna shoot over here, I think. I'm gonna shoot in here. I really like this roof. I'm gonna get a nice low angle. Get this roof, get the lamps. Get a cool shot. And get something down here. This is a pretty wide viewpoint. You essentially use these basically from here to here is how wide that is, here to here, how wide that is. That way you have an idea of how much coverage there is. There's no viewfinder. Gonna get this set up. Let's see. Again, I'm gonna do a nice low angle. I think that's one of the coolest things about this camera is you get these really neat viewpoints here. And I'm actually gonna even back up a little bit. Yeah, all right, let's see. I think this is pretty straight down the middle. And I think it'll be a cool view of the roof. I'm gonna drop it down a little bit more. Bring it back a little bit too, in terms of angle. And yeah, using the gun sights, basically this column to the end of this column is going to be in the picture. I think that's going to be good. So I got one more thing I need to do, and that is get some light meter readings. Essentially, the ISO of the paper is 1 to 3. The lowest my Pinhole app can go is 3, so I'm just setting it at 3. And then the F number, which is essentially the focal length for this type of camera, that's a rough way of saying that, is 229. Don't really know what that means, but that's what I know. I put it into the thing. I look at my scene. All right, so looks like 8 minutes for the door down there. These brightest scenes is gonna be more like 6 minutes. 2 minutes for the column on the left, 9 minutes for the column on the right. And the roof is 11 minutes. I might go 8 minutes because that's gonna be the doorway. See, this is the hard part about doing Pinhole stuff because the doorway is 8 minutes, the roof is 11 minutes, the sidewalk, the brick is 6 minutes, the columns is 2 minutes. That's absolutely right. I think I'm gonna go in between the brick and the roof, which is about 8 minutes, to hopefully get some detail on the roof and not lose too much detail on the brick. I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. All right, so got my camera set up, I got my timer, 8 minutes, ready to go. The last thing I need to do is open the camera up and begin shooting. So you do that by basically moving this little thing until you see the pinhole. And there it is. Start the timer. Get you out of the way. And yeah, that's it. It's gonna sit there for 8 minutes and hopefully we'll get a photo out of it. We have several minutes to kill, so I figured I would go ahead and come over here and get the chemicals ready. This is the other really great part about doing the Pinsta, the pinhole, besides the fact that you get a super unique photo, I get to develop it right here, right now. So in order to do that, I need to get my syringes full. These are each marked so I know what, developer, fixer, water, that sort of thing. You do developer for a certain time, you do fixer for a certain time, and then you do a water bath. And these are designed to go right in those holes I showed you in the Pinsta camera. So it makes it super easy. Let's get the fixer going first. It just so happens to be what I grabbed first. I have these little accordion bottles because it helps keep air out in between uses. You just sort of squeeze it as tight as you can and get that lid on there. I lost the red top for my developer, but I know that the blue is developer. And then finally, some distilled water. You really want to make sure you try to use water that doesn't have anything in it, as those chemicals can leave traces on the paper. Got those all ready. Once again, developer, fixer, water, all my chemicals, got my drying. I'm just gonna put them here, ready to go. And it's I still have 3.5 minutes, so I'm gonna give myself a little refresher. You do 1.5 minutes with developer. This is according to Pinsta's official website. You do 1.5 minutes with the developer, you do 1 minute of fixer, and then you do a water bath for 2 to 3 minutes. And just make sure it's all cleaned up and make sure you dispose of those chemicals correctly. 2.5 minutes. Let's go back over to the camera. This place is just absolutely beautiful. So I have one more drying frame. And so I'm gonna be able to get one more shot before, did you guys see that ghost up there? I'm gonna be able to get one more shot before we move on. But hopefully this one's great. We got just about 10 seconds left. And when it gets down to that, I will close this back up and we'll go right over there to develop everything. And that's it. All right. That's it. Fully developed. Took 8 minutes or so. Or I should say, fully exposed. Took about 8 minutes or so. And now we get to develop it. And you guys get to see the magic. As long as everything works out like it should, we should be good to go. And yeah, so I'm just gonna put it right into the Pinsta, start plunging, start the count. I'm gonna add 5 seconds, so it makes it easier for me to do this. There we go. And you just wanna do this slow plunge we'll start doing this motion. And what you're doing is you're really making sure that developer gets all over the paper and in a uniform way. I kind of will do back and forth occasionally. I'll do 5 seconds this way, 5 seconds the other way. Yeah, you really just want to make sure the developer is in contact with as much of the paper as much of the time as you can. And yeah, I'm just going to do this for a minute and a half. So I'll see you guys in another minute. And that's it. And you just pull it back out in the same syringe. You put it in and you'll notice there's a loss of liquid. That is because it's soaked into the paper. So, and then as quickly as I can, I'm going to do this fixer for a minute. Like I said, you want to do this sort of swirling motion as you get the fixer fully in there, and then you can just leave it for that minute. Now this is a 4x5 Pinsta. They do make an 8x10 attachment, which I don't have. I thought about getting, but the 4x5 paper is already pretty expensive, and I don't know if I want to do the 8x10. It's kind of costly, but I just love doing this. I love being out here, and I love developing while I can, like right in the thing. Best part about this camera. We're almost done here. All right, that's been a minute of fixing. Once again, just pull it right back out into the same. There we go. And then finally, the water bath. This is not as critical of a time thing. You really just want to make sure you give it enough time to really get all those chemicals off of there. Dude just walked by as I was talking to myself. That's always so awkward, but I really want to show you guys this, and it's the only way I can do it, so. All right, it has been about a minute. So now we get to pull the water back out. Once again, there's a loss of liquid that is absorbed by the paper. All right, so this is the first time I'm seeing this, the first time you guys are seeing it. We're gonna see this together, and hopefully it has come out. If it hasn't, it's a learning lesson for us all. Oh man, that's cool. That's real cool. I was definitely not level. I was not level. I really thought I was, but wow, that is super, super cool. Super happy with that, honestly. You get some detail on the roof, get some detail on the brick where the shadow is. Door is kind of there. Yeah, I'm happy about that. Let's get this liquid out. All right, so now I have the drying frames. They're just little magnet sealed. Came with the camera, but you basically just, I'm gonna put it right here, clamp it together so that it can dry and stay flat. But here comes the hardest part, is I have this little metal card tool that I carry around in my wallet, and I tend to get it out of here because it likes to stick. But I don't want to rip the paper because it's fucking wet. So if I just kind of slightly nudge it, there we go. And it can come out right into the drying rack. Try to straighten it out as much as I can. And there we go. Pinsta. Pinhole photography. It's crazy. Let's walk over to where I took the photo. Yeah, I mean, this is why I do this. I mean, it's definitely, it's not level at all. I kind of feel like I fudged that up a really good bit, which is super fun. But I'm not opposed to it, and I can do a little I can scan this in and correct it. But for the original, it's going to be like this forever. But this is it. I was here, and 15 minutes later, I have a fully developed photo, a 1 of 1. I love this thing. Let's go find another spot and let's do it again. The Thomas Center is a super, super beautiful place, and I'm not 100% sure where I want to do this picture, so I figured I would just look around, try to figure out a composition that I like, one that's going to give me enough contrast to make the picture interesting. Thought about maybe doing the fountain, where there's all those people over there doing yoga or whatever. The only awkward thing about doing all this pinhole stuff is I got this giant bag to carry around, and I currently have you on a tripod because I have to have the tripod. So I don't know, I'm just trying to find a composition I like. I have one more photo that I'd really like to use really like to take, but I'm not just gonna waste it. This shit's expensive, you know? So let's keep looking around. It's funny, I'm just back over to where I started. First photo was inside here, but now I'm looking at this hole with the light up top and here, and you get the shadows, and I think this might be the composition. That could be pretty cool. I don't know. The camera is super wide. This could be... No, it's too much shadow. I think I want to go with this angle sort of thing. All right, well, let's get set back up. You guys know the drill. I'm not gonna bring you a log for all of it, but dark bag, chemicals, let's do it. All right, so like I was saying, I think roughly like this is gonna be my composition. I've got the Pinsta camera on the tripod. I think I'm gonna go with a vertical orientation this time. It's a 4x5 image. There's not much different, but it is not quite square. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna extend out the tripod a good bit because I definitely think I actually might put it on this tripod because I want more height. Yeah, I want it to be from up here. So, you know what? Y'all give me 1 second. Sorry for the lower angle. You guys are now on the small tripod. So I'm gonna put this on the big tripod. I just want more height. Can't get it from that one. Normally I kind of really like the low angle, but I think for this specific shot, I need it to be a higher angle. So I think this is gonna be the angle from this direction. I gotta use my sights. That's a pretty wide angle. I might even get a little closer here. I can't leave you guys behind. Maybe I'll put you up here. I think this might be the shot. Actually, I kind of want to go even higher up because it's gonna be pretty dramatic. I think this is it. This is level. This should be level. Okay. The top of the building's reading 1:50. Shadows are reading 6 minutes. The bushes down here are reading like 20 minutes. I'm gonna go 5 minutes. Basically, sky is a minute. This is like 2 minutes. This area is 5 minutes, and this is like 20 minutes. So this is gonna be dark as hell. This is gonna be overblown as hell. But I want some detail here, and I want a lot of detail, more detail here in this area too. I think I'm gonna go 5 minutes. I think it's gonna be a 5-minute shot. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, sorry.
You are all good.
Okay.
It's a long exposure. Truly, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, the smile.
Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. It's been 5 minutes. I closed it up. We're gonna go back over to the bench and get this thing developed. Let's get this thing developed. First off, you guys have been through the process, but I still need to get all my chemicals ready. This is where I'm doing chemical dumps, so I don't put it into the ground because it's really not good for the environment like that. Water, developer, and fixer. All right, so 1.5 minutes developing. What a beautiful day outside. And it's a weekday, so there's basically no one here except for those people over in the park. That's fine. They're doing yoga over there. Well, the birds. And we're done here. Pull it back out. A minute of fixer. All right. Now the water bath. My boss gave me this camera a couple years ago for Christmas. It was a really nice Christmas gift. He got himself one too, and this has just been one of my favorite cameras. It's truly super cool. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if it worked. Whoa. All right, a little overexposed, but I got a lot more detail here than I thought I would get in the bushes and stuff too. But all of this, I really wanted this to be right, but I'm not mad about it. The bush detail is super cool. I really like that a lot. Honestly, yeah, pretty cool shot. That's the cool thing about pinhole photography is, honestly, even if it's not exactly what I wanted, it's still pretty cool. All right, let's dump these chemicals out. Like I've said before, you truly don't want this to go in the groundwater. So I always try and collect everything in a bottle and then dispose of it when I get back home, because it's just not good for the environment. Try to get this thing out. Maybe over here. Yeah, that's it. That's the corner. There we go. Try to straighten it out as much as I can. Close it up. And there we go. That's my second pinhole image of the day. Pretty happy with both of these, if I'm honest, especially if it's been the first time I've done this in over a year. So I'm pretty happy to be nailing the development time. Relatively close anyways. Even if this one is a little bit more blown out than I was hoping for. I mean, that's it. Like, I'm literally still here. That's the magic of the Pinsta camera. I fucking love this thing. I'm not trying to be a shill for it, but it's truly a really unique product, and I just love the shit out of it. I love using it. So I'm gonna head home and get these dry and scan them in. And thanks for coming along, and maybe I'll do some more of these. And that was that. A really nice morning of some fun pinhole photography. I absolutely love this camera and have a blast every time I go out to use it, even if the pictures don't always come out like I was hoping. I urge you to try pinhole photography if you're looking for a way to change up how you see the world. But as always, thank you all for watching this video and supporting my photography adventures. Let me know in the comments below if you have shot with the Pinsta camera, what you think about it, or if you've just done pinhole photography in general. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more film photography adventures like this, and if you enjoyed this video, I'll see y'all next time.